Hello and welcome! It is Gauntlet of Greatness Week 8. Shadow and I are looking forward to finishing our second trip through all the groups. Things are kind of starting to take shape, actually, from a playoff point of view, which is cool. Let's take stock of where we're at. We're going to be playing Group D this week. So everybody has played once. Turbo Stasis and Abzan were the losers. They're going to play an elimination match. Black Devotion and Callblade were the winners, so they get to play for a spot in the top 8 where they will join the Atarka Red deck, they will join the Affinity deck, and they will join Tinker. So top 8 starting to come together, and we see that the win and ins that we're going to have once we swing back through these groups again. 2 more weeks after this, and we'll know our whole top 8. It'll be Erhnageddon versus Faeries, Dragonstorm versus Necro, Delver versus Rebels, and 2 of these decks also playing a win and end. So that's kind of where we're at for the tournament. And let's get to take
Wow, just seeing the thing flash up for Mythic eliminated at 0-2.
Isn't it bizarre?
That is incredible.
I totally agree. That is probably, for me, the biggest surprise that we've seen is that Mythic deck 0-2'd. But I don't know. You can't beat a Parallax Wave? The Rebels...
No, it's impossible to beat Parallax Wave. That card should be banned for future seasons of Gauntlet of Greatness.
Well, it didn't help the Replenish deck. This is apparently the better Parallax Wave deck. I would have thought it was Replenish, but that 0-2 is also a little surprising to me.
Yep.
Anyway, let's take a look at these deck lists. So, Abzan versus Turbo Stasis is sort of a depressingly familiar matchup from the point of view of the guy who's going to have to play Turbo Stasis. This Stasis deck's goal is drop a Stasis. Nobody gets to untap anything, not even their lands. I'm going to play a land every turn so that I can just keep upkeeping it. The Turbo name always meant back in the day 4 copies of Howling Mine, and the fact that you're drawing multiple cards per turn is why you can realistically just play a land every turn, upkeep the Stasis, and keep the game essentially frozen. At some point, you usually want to either boomerang your own Stasis or blow it up and play a new one. That way, you get an untapped step, but then you replay the Stasis and your opponent never does. You know, throw in a Kismet so that their lands come into play tapped, and the game is all locked up. You can just deck them with Howling Mine, or usually 1 Felden's Cane was the victory condition of choice. Black Vice out of the sideboard can, in theory, kill them as well. So, I mean, that's the Stasis deck. It came out at a time where Necropotence was running around, and it was really very much a foil to the Necro deck because putting a Stasis in play meant it didn't matter how many cards they drew. They couldn't deploy them. They didn't have the lands to actually deploy all their cards, and so it had a pretty good run. Kind of a quirky deck. Has not done great in the Gauntlet so far, but we'll see. It's going to get one last shot. Part of the reason it hasn't done great is that it keeps running into Thoughtseize decks, which keep just taking away either the Howling Mine or the Stasis, leaving it vulnerable, where if it doesn't come up with a Howling Mine and a Stasis by about turn 4 or 5, it's got problems. So here's Abzan Control. This is where Standard was at last summer, right? This is Seth Manfield's deck that he used to win the World Championship, which is only a couple of cards different from the deck Owen Turtenwald used, finishing second. Super close 5-game match the 2 of them played at Worlds. So, if you've been playing any Magic for the last year, you've seen, Siege Rhino and Abzan Charm, here's Elspeth, here's Courser, here's just all the cards that everybody was playing last year. I guess 2 rotations ago now, but we'll see how this plays out. You're going to make me play Turbo Stasis, right?
Well, you know what? This is yours. You can make me play whatever you'd like.
I play the Turbo Stasis. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be the last time I get to play it, so maybe I'll go ahead and I'll give it one last run.
We'll see how it goes. I wish you luck, good sir.
All right, Turbo Stasis. Yep, 60-minute clock. All right, I am hosting a match in the Getting Serious room. I'll mute you on Skype. We can chat more after the match.
Sounds good.
Good luck.
See you on the other side.
All right, let's do this. Wish me luck. On the draw. Interesting. So I've got lands, but I have no Howling Mine. All I can do is Force of Will one spell, so I'm relying on my ability to draw. Yeah, I can't keep that. Especially with the new Mulligan rule. Yeah, now I have a Howling Mine and a Stasis, so this is a much better draw. I think I do want Island. I really want to play my lands. Interesting. I'm on the draw. Maybe I don't want Island? Nah, I want Island. I've got what I want. No, now I'm going to get Thoughtseize, and I'm going to regret putting Island on top. I feel great about this hand. Well, with him leading Citadel, I really wish I could Arcane Denial this Thoughtseize. He's going to Thoughtseize my Howling Mine. And then I'm going to wish I'd pushed that island to the bottom so that I could find either a backup Howling Mine or a black source for Limdal's Vault. I was probably supposed to push, wasn't I? I mean, I really want to make land drops to set myself up, but yeah, this Thoughtseize is just a problem. Oh well. Now he has to guess which one I'm going to draw next and leave me with doubles. He should take the Howling Mine. Yeah, he solved it correctly, unfortunately. Losing my Howling Mine, though, also makes me happier to have an island. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough call. Oh, great. City Breaths. So I probably do want to just Limdal's Vault for a Howling Mine, right? Yeah, that sounds right. What you got? Courser time? Courser time. Interesting. So, do I care? I mean, I can Arcane Denial. I guess I should. I don't care about the life. I don't really care about the incremental card advantage. I don't know if I care. Nah, I'm going to use my mana on my Limdal's Vault. Yeah, I mean, if I land a Howling Mine, the fact that he can play lands off the top, he's going to be drawing enough lands that just doesn't matter. Howling Mine and 4 land, interesting. There's 2 Howling Mines left in my other 42 cards, I guess. Said I wanted a Howling Mine. I'm just going to keep the Howling Mine. Don't love the 4 lands part, but I don't know that I can afford to just go fishing for a different Howling Mine. Thoughtseize on top of his library. Chat's talking about the Chronotog version of Stasis. There was a Chronotog Stasis that almost overlaps. I think Chronotog's in Mirage, if I'm not mistaken, which was like the next set that came out. I don't know that you could piece... I feel like something else was gone by then. There was a Chronotog version of this deck that would just eat the turns. Honestly, I didn't think it was as good. Like, I played this deck in Standard back in 1996 and kind of liked it. And I never really played the Chronotog version. It always felt flawed. I forget what it was missing specifically. Wow, he's doing nothing with his mana. That's great. Alright, so he's going to play a Thoughtseize. Presumably. question is, do I go ahead and drop the Stasis now? If I drop the Stasis now, I can Arcane Denial one thing, but then I lose cards? I mean, what's the point of dropping the Stasis now if all of his mana is available? Oh, the point is he's going to Thoughtseize me. I don't want to have it in my hand. I mean, I guess I can Arcane... If I don't drop Stasis, then I'm going to Arcane Denial the Thoughtseize. Chronotog's Envision, so I was right about the block. It's in the Mirage block. I forget how exactly standard rotated back then, though. I don't know if you could play all these cards. Maybe you could. Maybe that'd be a better version. Maybe you lost the restricted cards by then? Maybe like 4th turn? I don't remember. Alright, I'm either relying on my ability to Arcane Denial Thoughtseize, or I'm dropping a Stasis. Now, more mana I have in play when I drop Stasis, the better, just because it gives me the ability to boomerang and reset it. I'm going to drop it. I'm going to find a boomerang eventually. I don't think I'm going to need to do anything before then. Making one land drop wouldn't even help me have Counterspell plus Boomerang mana. It's like I either needed to play it here or I needed to wait 2 turns. I don't know. We'll drop it. We'll see what happens. Freeze the game for a while. I could Arcane Denial my own Stasis to draw 3 cards, but no, the Stasis is actually important. I wish I had some, random, like, an extra Despotic Scepter or something. I think Eric Lauer had a version of this deck that had a bunch of baubles in it so that he could Arcane Denial his own baubles. God, the man loved to Arcane Denial his own Mishra's Bauble. Draw 3. So he's kept his mana untapped, which I guess means he can build up to something like Elspeth. Which just works, I guess? Interesting. You're playing Historical Standard here, so every one of these decks in this 16-deck field was legal at some point in the history of Standard. My Stasis deck... For my Stasis deck, that point was a good 20 years ago. For the Abzan deck I'm playing against, it was last summer. Yeah, I mean, we knew we were going to draw land that turn. The idea is to sit here for a little while and draw a Boomerang, and then the more land I have in play when I Boomerang Stasis, the more other things I could do. I'm starting to really worry about him playing Planeswalkers, though. God, he keeps drawing Thoughtseize. He's got a Den Protector, too, that we know about. You can see all of the deck lists over on Card Kingdom's website. I might actually be able to put that link into the chat. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Oh, it's linked on... It's linked down. Just go down the page. Should be a Gauntlet of Greatness link that links you to all the deck lists. He's just doing nothing, huh? Alright. I'm pretty sure if we both sit here and do nothing, that is better for me than it is for him. I like this art. Faye Jones. It's just kind of weird in a way that current Magic art isn't anymore. I mean, current Magic art's great too. Just liked the variety back in the day. Wow, Temple of Silence. He gets a scry, I guess, but his land doesn't come into play untapped. Is that his problem? Does he just have a million lands that come into play tapped? I mean, my fear is if he builds up to an Elspeth, I'm just in trouble, right? Definitely not looking forward to whatever happens when he comes up with an Elspeth. Man. There were not exactly Planeswalker cards in 1996, so. Not a card type that this deck had to worry about at the time. It's gonna play Nissa, okay. Goes and gets a land. What happens when he makes Nissa? Untap 6 target lands? That's not fair. Yikes. Yeah, this deck just isn't going to measure up, is it? It's too bad. There's too many things. I mean, he just keeps putting land into play, right? And then eventually untaps 6 creatures and attacks me with them as 6/6s. Like, what do I do about that? I can't attack Nissa. I have no creatures. So eventually he's just gonna brain me with those. Kismet doesn't help. I guess I had to lock him up before Nissa came down? And now there's Elspeth. But I mean, he is down to 2 mana. Although Nissa puts stuff into play on... God, Nissa beats my Stasis lock too. He can get untapped. He can get extra lands untapped from Nissa. This is gonna be a tough one. Wow. Now, it would help if I actually drew some spells. Okay. So I can Despotic Scepter to destroy my own Stasis at the end of his turn, untap all my lands, and drop a new one. It's definitely a thing I can do. I don't have anything to do yet. Maybe I wait. I guess I have to come up with a boomerang. We can sit here and play this game for a little while, I guess. Ten-step Citadel's tapped does not bother me. I do not expect to ever give him an untap step. Like, the fact that I have a backup Stasis now, I have a way to refresh Stasis. Like, he should not get an untap step for the rest of the game. Unfortunately, Nissa's ultimate means he doesn't need one. Yes, so keep the Stasis. Jeez, I can't draw. So he's at 5. It's gonna go to 6, yeah. He's gonna up Nissa. I'm gonna try to draw things. And I need to draw some things. This actually feels kind of close. Like, if I do succeed in boomeranging Nissa, then am I in good shape? I mean, his land drops... Yeah, there's that. Possible I should have played out the Despotic Scepter. I liked having the 2 mana untapped so that I could potentially boomerang. Yeah, he takes the Despotic Scepter. Thing is, if I had Despotic Scepter in play, he would have just taken the Stasis. I guess now the problem is I need 2 boomerangs. Yeah, it's unclear. I mean, he would have taken Stasis if I'd had Despotic Scepter, so it wouldn't have... I don't know. It's tough. Great. Now I really wish I had a Despotic Scepter in play. I mean, if I can't get the Stasis off the table at the end of his turn, then he gets the first untap step. That's a catastrophe for us. Wow, we're in real trouble. Because he goes to 7 next turn. Ugh. Awkward. Is anyone randomly thought seizing my Despotic Scepter really going to be the difference here? Yikes. I never found a boomerang. And now he's just going to do this. Damn it. I mean, obviously I can force a will Nissa in some hypothetical game where I actually draw spells instead of land at the beginning. Yeah, Planeswalkers are going to be a problem. Yeah, he just doesn't need... He doesn't need an untap step to win with a Planeswalker. He can use it every turn, even while under a stasis lock. Yeah, I got nothing for this. Crazy. It's funny, I used to think that the reason WotC didn't print mana denial cards, you know, there's no Winter Orbs, there's no Stasises around anymore, was because the game is just better off without them. But it's actually interesting if the game has evolved to a point where maybe it can deal with them. I can't disenchant a Planeswalker. I can play Wall of Air. That's not actually going to help. They're not red. I can't Swords to Plowshare a Planeswalker. I can put in Black Vice and hope to kill one. I mean, I can mana short before he gets the mana built up? That's not really how this works. Wow. I mean, my base strategy is flawed, but the sideboard doesn't help. So I'm just going to shuffle them up and hope. Thoughtseizes are good against me, and the Planeswalkers are good against me, but in theory, I can get my mana locked down, I can boomerang Planeswalkers, I can Kismet lock him. Like, there's a game plan here. Nissa specifically, I could Swords before he flips, but Nissa is a minority of the Planeswalkers in his deck. He's also got Elspeths. He's also, I think there might even be a Sorin hanging out. Right, 3 Elspeths, 2 Nissa Vastwood Seer, and then the sideboard has Sorin Solemn Visitor, a Johnny, Ugin. Yeah, Plow is not... I don't think Plow's that useful. Like, his creatures are so slow. He's a control deck. We're playing a control battle. I mean, I have Howling Mine. That's the most important card to start with. Also, I'm pretty happy to have a Kismet and an Arcane Denial. It seems pretty reasonable. I still get just owned by turn 1 Thoughtseize, though. GG. Nice of him to give me pain-free black mana. Yeah, I pretty clearly want to go find a Howling Mine. Once again, it's Howling Mine in 4 blanks. I mean, I guess Zerna Orb isn't completely blank, but it's damn close. But I have to keep Howling Mine in 4 blanks? Like, I think I have to keep that. Yeah, I think I have to keep that. It almost worked out last game, sort of. Part of me is tempted to leave of Arcane Denial, but no. I mean, getting the Howling Mine down is really pretty important. This also sets me up to play Kismet next turn, which is kind of nice. You know, get that part of the lock at least established. If there's a Stasis pretty quick under these Limdwell Vault cards, we're actually in pretty good shape. All right, I can play turn 4 Kismet because I'm going to draw a land. Then I'm going to draw 2 blanks. Oh, I can Arcane Denial my Zerna Orb. I might actually do that. We'll see what he's up to. Yeah, Corsair doesn't scare me. Kismet's actually going to slow Siege Runner down by turn 2, which is kind of nice. This is totally Arcane Denial my Zerna Orb, isn't it? I mean, there's some value in keeping the Arcane Denial for a Planeswalker. Again, I can now see that he's going to draw Nissa next turn. Maybe I'm supposed to do that. I probably am. So much fun to Arcane Denial your own spells, though. He's either playing a Siege Rhino or a Nissa. I need to stop his stuff. Stasis off the top next turn. We're going to win this game. He's going to do nothing. Wow. Okay. He's going to preserve his untapped mana. Backup Kismet. Hilarious. Backup Kismet does nothing. Yeah, I feel like I still need this Arcane Denial. Because he's still threatening to play a Planeswalker. I mean, he's not going to have Nissa this turn because the Kismet's going to make his land come into play tapped, but... not going to have Elspeth this turn. Could have Nissa. That's one way to show me. My Kismet did not make that land come into play tapped. Doing that anyway. He's not going to double white next turn. So we're not up to Elspeth. I could denial my Limdol's Vault? Does that make sense? I don't think so. I think I just cast Limdol's Vault. Come on, cast something expensive. Alright. Yeah, now I Limdol's Vault. And I have the Kismet, so he's got 2 mana for the rest of the game, right? I don't think that's enough to cast any of his Planeswalkers. Show me a Stasis. That'll do. So, how do I want to draw this? Do I need a Force of Will? Or do I want a land drop? I feel like I want a land drop. Well, I don't want the Felton's Cane. I don't want to pay life. Do we actually win? I mean, if I draw Stasis Force of Will, I play Stasis with 4 mana untapped? And I have a Force of Will. If I draw Island, I don't know what is he going to do to me with 2 mana that's going to screw me up. I mean, this is great. I'm Stasis locking him next turn. I think I've got the game, because he's only ever going to have 2 mana. I'm just trying to think what... I'm going to draw the Force of Will. That million drop doesn't look like it matters. Oh, even better. I get them all. I forgot I had an Arcane Denial card. I get the Force of Will and I get the land drop. Sweet. I'm going to go ahead and put the Stern Orb on the table. And lock assembled. I think we win this game. Right? All of his future stuff comes into play tapped. I can upkeep Stasis for... I mean, I should be able to upkeep Stasis forever. And yeah, I think we actually win. I think that's what he's thinking through right now too. Like, how's he going to get out of this? Obviously, this hand has the ability to boomerang the Stasis and reset. Although, I mean, I don't really feel like I'm even going to need it. Does he have something he can do for 2 mana? I guess I should go look at his sideboard. Does he have like an erase or something? Glare of Heresy gets white permanents. Unravel the Ether. He has a 2 mana spell. And then Dramoka's Command. So he has a pair of 2 mana things in his sideboard that can blow up a Stasis. Check. But, yeah, I have a Force of Will, so. On to game 3! Go, go, Gadget Turbo Stasis deck! Awesome. Oh, I guess he can kill the Kismet with Glare of Heresy, too. I win, by the way, by decking him. Like, literally, just the fact that whenever I play Howling Mine, he'll draw first. Will usually deck somebody. But there's one Felden's Cane, which will shuffle my graveyard into my library, which is... I mean, that's usually considered the kill card, even though technically Howling Mine alone will deck them. Yeah, but so one reshuffle, and he's going to run out of cards first. I'm just literally going to lock up the game until his deck is empty from the Howling Mines. Cool. Well, it is possible. We've proven it's possible. Yeah, it's a turn 1 Howling Mine. I can force a will the damn Thoughtseize. Maybe. Clearly a keeper. Maybe Turbo Stasis can win a match here. Now I have a guilt-free blue card to pitch to force a will because I have a second Lindell's Will. We've kind of got it all though, right? A Howling Mine, Anastasis, and a Force of Will. I mean, I want a Kismet, and I kind of need white mana before Kismet does anything. Ooh, he doesn't even have a Thoughtseize. Even better. So if he plays Nissa, I probably need to Force a Will it. White-green. He has Fleece Mane Lion. Hilarious. Do I care about Fleece Mane Lion? The thing is, if I force this, I'll then have Arcane Denial up for the next thing. Like, I buy... It hits kind of hard. Like, I don't want to have to care, but it does put some pressure on me to actually stasis him. I guess I'm going to need to do that anyway. Yeah, you can have a Fleece Mane Lion. That's fine. Ivory Tower's kind of nice. So, now I get to gain life. Currently scheduled to gain 2 life. I mean, this will basically hold off a Fleece Mane Lion. Howling Mine should keep my hand full. Ish. So do I Elendil's Vault here? What am I looking for? I'm looking for, like, another Howling Mine. I'm looking for Kismet and white mana. Yeah, sure. I guess I do. Means I'm gonna gain... Paying some serious life, given that I don't get the Ivory Tower. But, like, I kind of need to find... I need to find the Kismet part of the lock. Sweet. So I can just tap out for Kismet next turn. I can draw City of Brass Kismet, tap out for it, have a Force of Will, be in position to untap and drop Stasis. I like it. Keep keeping the first 5 and wondering why I cast it, but do what you gotta do. We even know there's a Stasis coming, a backup Stasis coming, so I think that means I don't have to Force a Will of Thoughtseize. Yeah, next turn's draw phases are land Stasis, which is kind of nice. Am I seriously going to win this match? Is that possible? This is Unravel the Ether? Abzan Charm. Distribute 2 +1/+1 counters. Okay. You have a 5/5. Every tower is going to offset some of that. Yeah, Windsweep Heath comes into play tapped. He's got 4 mana, so he does have the ability to cast Nissa. He's not going to get to Elspeth. We're ahead, right? I mean, I kind of actively like my chances from here. Definitely drop. I think it's definitely time to drop Stasis. I don't want to get hit for 5. I don't want his lands. I don't want to let him build up any more lands. Now, we need to draw lands. I mean, the game is not locked in that I do not currently have the ability to upkeep Stasis forever. I can't refresh it, right? I need a Boomerang or a Despotic Scepter would get the job done. But I need to hit land drops. I'm going to draw Felden's Cane and one card I don't know about. I have the Force of Will for his Planeswalker. I think it's about drawing lands and or... I need lands, Boomerang, Despotic Scepter. Those are the good cards. This shouldn't matter. Yeah, I gain some life. I upkeep the Stasis. Ugh. Hate missing land drops. Really bad. I mean, is it possible that I'm going to have enough life to survive giving him an untapped step? That seems super hard to believe. I mean, I can survive a hit from the Fleece Mane. The problem is, right now, he can only cast, like... I don't think he can cast 2 spells, right? He can cast, like, 2 2-mana spells. Oh, come on, deck. You've got a Howling Mine. You just need lands. Okay. Got there. Sort of. What am I discarding? Elendil's Vault? I probably want the recalls. I can't imagine casting 2 Elendil's Vaults this game. Come on. Land Boomerang. Be there. This is tight. Island? Island's good. Arcane Denial doesn't really help. I guess it helps if I get a Boomerang eventually. Discard one of the recalls? Sure. It is possible that I could let this Stasis go and survive. I'd feel a lot better if I had a second Force of Will in that world. But it is possible. It's not Plan A. Plan A is... I mean, I have 4 Boomerangs and I play 3 Despotic Scepters. I've seen a third of my deck already. Basically 7 cards. Although if I miss a land drop, that takes Boomerang out of play. Unfortunately. Island is good. Boomerang. Land. Great. Good enough. We have a backup land drop for next turn. These Arcane Denials would be pretty good. If I do get to refresh Stasis once, then we're home free. I mean, maybe one Forcible was enough, but he could do like Unravel the Ether and a Glare of Heresy or something, and suddenly my Kismet's dead. I mean, I think refreshing Stasis and having 2 counterspells just ends the game. Oh, right, you get a 4-mana Planeswalker and Sarn. Howling Mine. Underground River. Alright, keeping the land drops flowing. I would like to get another Howling Mine into play, but, I mean, I obviously can't tap mana. Because I have exactly Boomerang mana. What am I discarding? It's not a land. I will play the Howling Mine if I get to refresh. Is that true? Oh, is he going to cast something on my end step? Save me the trouble of discarding. No. Oh, I can discard the Cane because I can get it back later with a recall? And because... well... yeah, I don't actually need the Cane to win this game. Nah. I'm not... I mean, it's super tight, right? Like, I'm drawing to 33 cards, and then while he's drawing to 34, so we're alternating who's actually going to get decked. I mean, if I play a future Howling Mine, then I can get on the good of that, but... and I guess, hypothetically, I can get it back from a recall. I don't know. Alright. So he's going to take Force of Will, and then he's going to play Nissa. And that's all really, really bad for me, isn't it? I guess I have to let him? God damn, these Sloth Diseases are still insane. Also, for the record, I have 35 cards left in my library, and I've only drawn 1 Force of Will. Tired of not drawing Force of Wills. It doesn't help me to fight this. I'm constrained on mana, not counters. Right? Right. Now when he plays Nissa, I have to decide if I'm going to Arcane Denial it. I don't think I can. Wow. Why couldn't you give me... oh, man. I needed a Boomerang or a Despotic Scepter or a second Force of Will. And we would have been fine. Well, I was begging for lands, and my deck gave me those, which I wanted. I was grateful, deck. But, ugh. It also gave me both recalls, the Felden's Cane, and these Arcane Denials. So, if I Arcane Denial this, I cannot upkeep the Stasis. And then he's going to get an untapped step with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's going to get 11 lands. There's no way I survive that. Therefore, I have to let Nissa resolve and trust that I can, like, Boomerang to refresh Stasis, Boomerang the Nissa before it kills me. Alright, that's our plan. You're out of mana. What is this, like 6/6/6s? I don't think Ivory Tower can get me up above 36. Especially when I'm attacking paying lands to upkeep Stasis. Oh, Zern Orb. There's the Force of Will. Where were you last turn? Zornum's actually relevant. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the table. Even though it cost me a life from Howling Mine. Oh, I guess he can't Thoughtseize me anymore. Yeah, I could have held that. I probably just threw a life away. God, where were you a minute ago? I still think we got a decent chance. I mean, I have to reset Stasis, and then Boomerang Nissa, and then we win. It's doable. But he cannot cast any more spells unless I give him unless I let Stasis go. Black Vice. That's interesting. Does this kill Nissa? Black Vice deals X damage to the player, and then I can redirect, right? That's kind of awesome. Wow. So Black Vice will kill... Black Vice kills Nissa, but then I can't cast a Boomerang. And she's not scary yet, so I wait and hope to draw a Boomerang first. Right? Right. Weird. And the thing is, if I commit a mana to Black Vice, then... I play 4 Boomerangs, right? I'm not imagining this. There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, 29 cards. Yeah, I'm now out of land drops too, so committing Black Vice is a little scary for that reason too. 5. So I need land Boomerang now. We're back to that. That had to happen that way, didn't it? I don't have the land drop, so I can't play the Boomerang. Damn it. Wow, now we need a Despotic Scepter and a land. 3 Despotic Scepters, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Despotic Scepters. Jeez. I can't afford to pay this mana. If I pay this mana for a Black Vice, then I lose the ability to play Despotics to upkeep the Stasis, and he gets an untap. That's a catastrophe. I'm now safely in. I don't need the Cane to deck him mode. And if I get a refresh, I'm going to be fine without this Howling Mine. Now he's at 6. I also just lost the ability to play Black Vice and do Despotic Scepter. So do I need land Despotic Scepter this turn? Is that where we're at? He's going to go to 7. We're at the point where I can survive with Zero and Orb, aren't we? Yeah, I can definitely survive 36. It's just 36? Just 36. Zero and Orb will save me from that. Land Despotic Scepter. Please. Damn. Stasis is going away. So close. I don't think I can survive this. I mean, I have 1 Force of Will. Man. He sees that I can Zero and Orb, so he's not going to ultimate her to kill her. Reasonable. Which I think means he doesn't get to ultimate her. So, thank heaven for small favors, right? Yes, I would like to redirect. I don't think I can survive this. I mean, we'll try. Obviously, I have 1 Force of Will. I do have 3 boomerangs. I mean, if he just... I'm not going to Force of Will that. I don't think it's worth it. Yeah. I mean, I won't have the ability to counter anything. Either way, I'm not going to have the ability to counter anything, so I want my other resources. I want to, like... have cards for recall, have boomerangs. I guess he actually has to decide whether he wants the Force or the Stasis. Because I don't know if he can play enough to kill me in one hit, right? I mean... my boomerangs get turned on. He did not actually make me sack a bunch of lands. I mean, I think his play was correct, but... are we still in this? Feels like I should lose from here. I do have 34 life in a Zero and Orb, though. I don't know. Yeah, recall is discard X to return X, so it just gives me access to like the Stasises and the Howling Mines and whatnot that are in my graveyard. Boomerangs. He took the Force of Will. That makes sense. He's still thinking. I mean, it's really a question of, like, how much can he do to me, right? 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, plus I assume there's a land for the Heath. 16 mana? Sounds like 3 planeswalkers is what that sounds like. Oh, by the way, Fleeceman Lion. Yup. Courser. Kind of funny that if I had a bunch of Howling Mines, I could speed the clock up. Right now, it's going to take, what, he has 8 turns, 7 turns, 15 cards in his library. Howling Mine, drop it to 5. I don't know. What you got for me, Shadow? Oh, right. Windsweep Heath is making mana from overboard. Okay. Sea Trino. That deals 7. You can have a Sea Trino. Oh, it doesn't even deal 7. Kismet means creatures don't come into play tapped. So he got his lands, but I get to lock down creatures. So there's 2 Stasises left in my deck, right? Yeah. 2 copies of Stasis left in my deck. He's typing in chat, that black vice, ... Yeah, that was my one sideboard. Gives me game against Planeswalkers. It's the only card in my entire deck. I guess that and Boomerang can, like, accidentally interact with this crazy new card type. I will type a smiley face in it. Yeah, Elspeth. Can't do anything about Elspeth. He puts 3/1/1s. They're tapped. No, they're not tapped? Why are they not tapped? They're not played by my opponent? What? Seriously? They're not tapped? Is that right? Artifact creature. I mean, technically he didn't play them. Does anyone know? Played with regards to spells. They do enter the battlefield. They were not played. So I don't think this is a Magic Online bug. I think this may just be a weird interaction. Artifact, features, and lands played by your opponent. They were not played. They were put into play. Comes into play untapped. Crazy. Okay. That makes things a little more tricky. I mean, I have these boomerangs, but is that good enough? Gain life, draw Stasis, draw Force of Will. Okay, so Now he has what? Now he has 6 mana, but I have a Force of Will. He's gonna run out of Thought Seizes eventually. There's 3. Only 2? Really? He's only gone through 2 Thought Seizes? God, they were both so brutal. Alright, I clearly have to Boomerang Elspeth. And play Stasis. Those are just things that have to happen. And then I have another Boomerang to refresh Stasis. So I kind of like my chances. Yeah. And now this Black Vice works on Nissa, right? I'm going to deck him as quickly as I can kill him with the Vice, so I'll just make sure Nissa doesn't go ultimate. I'm Boomeranging Elspeth because Elspeth apparently puts untapped tokens into play. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want to sacrifice an enchantment either. That's for damn sure. So I use an Arcane Denial? And then I still have Boomerang. Yeah. I like all my blue cards, so I'm actually not in love with Force of Will here. Yeah, I don't want to let Elspeth keep putting untapped tokens into play. That would sort of eventually kill me. Also, he wants to shuffle my Black Vice into my library, which would allow him to get Nissa online. Except that I have 2 Boomerangs left, so I can Boomerang my Stasis, Boomerang Nissa, and then I don't care about the Black Vice. Yeah, I think I let this happen and keep my Force of Will. Right? Yeah, I have to guard against a Thoughtseize on my... What do I have to guard against? Yeah, I have to guard against Thoughtseize. Den Protector. Wow, we're going to win this. We're going to survive that Stasis, running out of mana for Stasis. That's insane. But I think we're going to do it. I don't see how he gets out of this. Cool. Okay, that's the thing I have to care about. So if I go Boomerang Nissa, Boomerang Stasis, I have 2 copies of Stasis. And I can Force a Will a second Thoughtseize. Yes, Thoughtseize can resolve. I mean, the worst thing he can have is another Thoughtseize. And then, yeah, I have 2 Stasises and a Force of Will. Turbo Stasis, ladies and gentlemen. Whee! Turbo Stasis for the win, Jetto!
Good game, sir.
Look as excited about this as I am.
No, I enjoyed it, actually. That was pretty awesome.
Jack
Like,
kind
I
of
was like,
fun,
oh,
too.
good, I get to untap, and then I get to murder him, and he has to sacrifice all... Oh, Black Vice. And then I had to stare at it and go, does that... Yeah, that does exactly what I think it does. Oh.
That was awesome.
Oh, I could have sacrificed Nissa the turn before, but I was like... I just want to keep it going.
Well, but I have Urn Orb. Like, I survive. I do have to
Right,
lose some
but-
lands. It forces me to sack lands is the one thing it does.
Right. It forces you to sack lands, which I didn't think was enough, right? Like, I didn't think that was worth throwing Nissa away.
Right. No, I mean, look, I still had to deal with her at the end.
Yeah, but, like, when I thought seized you before and saw you had 3 boomerangs, I'm like, there's just no way through this.
I couldn't find one. If there's a single boomerang in the top half of my deck, it's easy. Like, if I could ever refresh that for a Stasis, it's easy. Like, I had a Stasis.
Yeah, you missed land drops. Like, if I can't beat you through that,
Yeah.
screw it.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm a control deck, right? Like, I can't beat you in one turn.
True.
I don't have that in me.
No,
Other than
that was not. Wasn't thinking about that. Like, I know your planeswalkers are super hard for me to deal with, but yeah, you can't act like I could let the Stasis go and then, all right, you have a turn. But now I finally had all my boomerangs. So
Excellent. That was actually kind of awesome. So I really enjoyed that.
it was. I agree. That was fun.